Welcome back, Sleepers of the Sands, to another smooth and great information drop coming from me, the Nerdbird, out to you guys that has been released via Funcom. And today I'm happy to announce that, guess what? Chapter 3 of Dune Awakening launches on February 3rd. Now that the Muad'Dib is officially out of the proverbial bag, it's time to talk about why this update matters, not just what's in it, but how it reshapes the experiences of surviving, building, and of course, thriving in Arrakis. Now, the update that was put out this morning was completely about Chapter 3 and how it was made, the player feedback that shaped it, and the major changes coming along with it. And trust me, there are a few surprises in here that make this update far bigger than it might first appear. So without further ado, let's dive right in. At its core, Dune Awakening is a shaped world survival MMO set on the most dangerous planet in science fiction, Arrakis. You'll harvest spice, build bases, navigate political struggles, and of course survive the desert and carve out your place among rival factions that kind of aren't really there. It blends survival mechanics, MMO progression, PvE and PvP content, and deep world systems inspired directly by the Dune universe. But like all living online games, how it feels to play evolves over time, and that's exactly where Chapter 3 is supposed to be coming in hard. From the earliest beta test to post-launch updates, player feedback has been the backbone of Dune Awakening's evolution according to their development team. Whether it came through Discord discussion surveys or in-game behavioral tracked through telemetry, the dev team has been watching closely. And yes, this feedback has already led to meaningful improvements, I guess. But Chapter 3 represents the most direct response yet to what players have been asking for in these terms, because two requests have come up over and over again, which Funcom now is ready to make changes. Number one, a deeper, more meaningful in-game, and a smoother experience for players returning after time away. Now, what this kind of tells me is what they've already been talking to us about, which is they are dropping the new Landsraad improved version with all of us doing a whole bunch of quests instead of having to do just control points or turning in crafted things. This will kind of give us an element of, usability and replayability once we get out there. However, the smoother experience for players returning after a time away, I definitely hope that this is going to curve them into it and make it easier. We will have to wait and see exactly how this comes to play, and we will talk about it here in a second, because Chapter 3 is built specifically to address both of these terms that we are now just sitting around wondering about whether or not they're going to work. Now, when players talk about in-game, they don't all mean the same thing. Some want harder challenges, some want long-term progression, some want more freedom to play their way without being forced into PvP or content they don't enjoy. By combining player feedback with in-game data showing how people actually spent their time at high levels, the developers were able to make smarter, more focused decisions about where to expand the game. And the results could come out being quite substantial, because what players told the devs they wanted was more in-game options that feel equally rewarding, more content to explore across Arrakis, the freedom to engage with in-game systems without being locked into one playstyle, and finally, deeper progression systems that keep characters growing long after Tier 6. Chapter 3, they claim, will be aiming to hit every single one of these points. So, what is new then in Chapter 3 that's going to take care of all of those issues? Well, for example, once players reach Plastinium or Tier 6, the game is supposed to be opening up entirely in new ways for everyone. Now, first of all, we have the expanded progression. This is new depth added through specialization augmentation systems, more meaningful choices that shape how your character evolves, and of course, long-term goals that extend far beyond hitting max tier. This is kind of similar to what we get in other games like ESO, where you hit max level and then you have to grind out 5 trillion extra points in order to like maximize your character. This is kind of the same thing that Dune is going for here, as they are now going to give us, after hitting level 200, the ability to start then grinding out more skill points, as well as the augmentations that we are adapting the weapons to. So there's going to be quite a bit of freedom there for us to be working with. I kind of like this. I believe this is the strongest point which Endgame is getting with Chapter 3. So let's hope that this ends up being great. Also, they have included new content to explore, which is 10 new locations added to the overland map, unique repeatable testing stations, challenging boss encounters with scaling difficulty, and of course, better loot the deeper you push. Now, this isn't just more content, it's content designed to stay relevant according to Funcom. For me, it looks good, and I like the ability for us to be grinding out better and better gear, because that is the in-game loop of any game that has ever existed since the beginning of gaming time. And I think that it will give the people who really enjoy the game a lot of opportunities to want to stay in there and do stuff more in order to get the better, and the better equipment. Example of this was whenever I once came back. I took a vacation from New World after I felt the game was cheating me, and came back after about a year and noticed that there were some individuals on the battlefield that just literally wrecked everyone around them. And when I asked how they were doing it, I was told these are guys who never left New World. So kind of lesson learned there. If you want to progress, you just need to play the game more consistently and longer than other people around you. This is just gaming 101. You can't expect to jump in and after 20 hours be the strongest player in the game. That would be absolutely boring. So those people who are sticking around and putting more time into Dune Awakening definitely will be rewarded by the looks of it. So make sure that you are maining Dune Awakening if you really love the game. And now players can take on the Landsraad missions, offering flexible objectives, multiple ways to complete assignments, as well as rewards that respect different playstyles, whether PvE focused, exploratory, or strategic. And this is just the surface. A full breakdown of everything coming in Chapter 3 will be available when the update launches on February 3rd. If you haven't already, the Chapter 3 announcement video from December offers a great early glimpse at what's ahead. However, I don't think you really need to jump into it. If I were you, I would just wait to see what is new whenever they release, if they ever release a forward announcement. Now, the second major pillar of Chapter 3 will be focusing on something every live service game struggles with, which is what happens when players take a break. In Dune Awakening, systems like base decay, taxes, and power upkeep exist for good reasons, mainly to prevent servers from filling up with abandoned structures. But the reality is simple: coming back after a long break could feel overwhelming, and the devs have actually heard this. So over the past year, several systems were added to help, which were the base reconstruction tool, which allowed you to pack up your entire base, store it safely, and rebuild later, perfect for planned breaks, as well as bank storage, which was more room for safely storing hard-earned in-game resources, and of course, character transfers, which move your character inventory and progress to new worlds or sieges, idea if your old server has gone quiet or your friends have just moved on. Now, quality of life changes coming up is going to take things even further with 2 major updates designed to remove frustration entirely. Number 1, no more taxes. That's right. No more taxes. Starting with Chapter 3, the Emperor no longer demands taxes on paid basis. So thank you, Emperor. You are the greatest. Have the Harkonnens taken over and given us freedom? We don't know yet. No more tax timers. No more punishment for taking time off. And build and expand freely without upkeep stress. This is a massive quality of life win. Now, not everyone leaving early had access to base packaging tools or extra storage, and the devs, hey, they know that. That's why Chapter 3 will introduce returning packages. That's right. They are going to be available to any character who hasn't logged in for 28 days or more, packed with resources to help you get back on your feet. Claimed directly from the in-game claim reward menu. There is no shame here, guys. No grind wall, just a clean way to jump back into the game, get your base going, and get back on your feet so that you can catch up with everybody else. Now, when it comes down to this new taxes, there's one issue that I'm a little bit concerned over, and that is Is the no more taxes system going to allow bases to actually decay faster? Because when it comes down to how I have been noticing the way bases are decaying inside the deep desert, the power usually goes down, but it's actually the land claim unit from the tax office which is keeping structures up. With no taxes, that means, in my opinion, once you stop producing power, your building is going to go down, which means people can loot your stuff faster. We'll have to wait and see, but hopefully everybody at this point learns how to take care of their bases properly so that this doesn't affect you too much. Now, looking ahead, Chapter 3 is representing the biggest and most important update Dune Awakening has seen so far, but that's not the end of the journey. The dev team is committed to committing this cycle of feedback and expansion. More systems, more content, and more opportunities to shape your destiny on Arrakis are still to come. And I personally cannot wait to see this happen. Hopefully it will be coming sooner than later, and I hope everybody out there on the sand is going to be getting ready to enjoy what Chapter 3 is going to offer. As always, remember, stay hydrated, keep your eyes in the sky, and have a great day.